Welcome to Programming Knowledge. So in this tutorial series we will learn about Flutter. So Flutter is basically an open source UI development kit created by Google. It is used to develop applications for Androids, iOS, Windows, etc. So to get started, open your browser and then open flutter.dev. Then click on Get Started. And then over here the installation process is pretty much same. I'll show the installation process for Mac OS, and the Windows users can ignore the Xcode part. Okay, so I'll go to Mac OS, and over here there is an option to download Flutter _ Mac OS _ v 1.12.13 .zip file. So first of all we need to download the zip file. Okay, now once downloaded we can unzip it wherever we want. So I have unzipped it in my documents section under a folder called development tools. Over here I have unzipped the Flutter SDK and I can see all my data are over here. Okay, so now for the development purpose, one thing that is very important for both Windows and Mac users is Android Studio. So first of all go and download Android Studio. The process to download Android Studio is also mentioned over here in the Android setup section. So while the Android Studio is downloading, let's discuss a little bit about Flutter. So Flutter is one of the emerging development software, because if we want to develop an application for both Android and iOS, we had to keep two different code bases and double the work in maintaining the app and bug fixes. But with Flutter, a single code base runs on both the platform. However, to develop for iOS, you will need a Mac OS system. So once Android Studio has been installed, we will try installing Xcode. So for that I'll go in the Xcode section, that is iOS setup, and over there I'll just open my terminal and copy and paste both the lines one by one. Once done, we need to export our path to the system. So for that I'll copy this from here. The export line will be different for Mac OS and Windows, so the Windows users can check accordingly. So I'll open my terminal and paste the command, and over here I'll change this to users, my username, then the documents section, and over there I have a folder called development tools, and inside that I have Flutter and bin. So I'll hit enter. Now I'll create a folder called Flutter projects, and all the projects that we do in Flutter I'll store it over there. So I already have one. I'll just navigate to it. Now over here I'll write Flutter doctor. So then the doctor will start running and it will tell that if the everything is installed properly or not. If you are running for the first time, it might take a few moments. So over here you can see we have Android toolchain. Some Android licenses are not accepted, and we have no connected device. We can ignore this Xcode error over here. Okay, so the system is fine, we can start working with Flutter. So to create a project, we write Flutter create and then the project name. Keep in mind that a Flutter project cannot have dashes and capital letters, it can only have underscores and small letters. Then I'll hit enter and it will start creating my project. So once done, open Android Studio and then go to open an existing Android Studio project, and then I'll simply navigate to Flutter projects and the demo app that I have just now created, and then I'll hit open. So if you first open a Flutter project, it will ask you to download some extensions. So click on download, and once done, we need to set up an emulator. So for setting up an emulator, we go to tools and then AVD manager, and over here I have already created a virtual device called Flutter device, and if you are new, you can go to the create virtual devices and then select any of the preferred sizes you want, click on next, and then the Android version you want to use, then click on next and give the device a name. Okay, so once done, it should appear something like this, and then click on this green arrow button. So if you click on the green arrow button, you can see that the virtual device has started. So once the emulator has been set up correctly, you can run your application by clicking on the run button over here. It is not showing in my case because I don't have the SDKs installed. So the another method to run a Flutter project is go to the terminal and then navigate to the project folder. In this case it is demo, and then write Flutter run. But before writing Flutter run, we can write Flutter doctor to check if the Android device is connected properly. So now you can see we have connected devices, one available. So now we will try running our app. I'll write Flutter run. So once done, don't quit the process and go to the emulator. So you can see this is a prefabricated screen that comes with Flutter, and whenever I click the plus button over here, the counter gets increased by 1. Okay, and now for Mac users, you can also open the simulator and run the Flutter code. So now if we already have a project running and we want to quit it, we just need to press Q, and then it will say application finished. Now to open a simulator, we write open space -a space simulator.app, and this will start a simulator on our screen, and then again if we write Flutter run, then we can see the same application in our iPhone. Now before moving forward, I would like to tell you that the programming language used by Flutter is Dart. So Dart is a programming language that is developed by Google, and it is client optimized. Okay, so you can read more about Dart by simply coming to dart.dev. Over here you see the documentations, you can read about it, and in the website we also have a environment to test our Dart code. Okay, so this was for the video. See you in the next tutorial. Thank you.